Hello again. Real life when things happen. I think we have it figured out. Going to invite Mr. Dwayne Dyer again. He is a brilliant man I had the pleasure of meeting, and I'm really excited to bring him live today for all of you. And if you've had success in the network marketing industry, you've thought about doing network marketing, or you would like to, please join us. And if you have any questions, please ask. Anything we can't answer on the video, we will definitely answer afterwards, or I'll send you a message with the answers. So I'm very excited to introduce you all to Dwayne Dyer. He is a network marketing leader in the industry and has been in the industry for a long time. So I have some questions for him. I have some questions for him, and I have some things to share with you guys also afterwards. So please stay on as to the very end, as I have some things to share with you guys as well, the people that follow me, the people that are interested in building their businesses online, whether that's network marketing or something else. So please stay on till the end while I share some information. So there, Dwayne. Hello.
Hello.
We got it sorted out. Thank you so much for your patience.
No, who knows? But I think
Who
we
knows?
got it sorted out, like you said.
Yes, we got it sorted out. So thank you so much for joining me. Me and you have been trying to coordinate our schedules for a little while now. So I feel very blessed and pleased that I have the ability to do this with you today. So thank you so much for joining me, Dwayne.
Well, you're welcome very much.
So, I guess let's just start off. Me and Dwayne are in a network marketing company together, and I recently was able to. I met him last year, but I also met him again this year, and had some time to talk with him a little bit, and I got to hear him speak a bit. So, Dwayne, could you share your story as far as um, you and your journey to where you are today?
Well, you bet. And I appreciate that very much. And thanks, those who are watching this live for your patience. And probably several more of you will be watching on the replay. And that's usually how I get mine, is at night on replays. So that's fun. And Orly, thank you so much for putting this together. Your time's very valuable, and you have been very persistent, and I appreciate that. It's one of the reasons why probably I am on, is because I like to honor persistence, and you've certainly shown that. And so that's a key ingredient to success in the industry, is just being a little bit persistent, and that is good. So my journey started way back. Graduated from university, did an internship, found myself with W.R. Grace out of New York. I was there a number of years in operations management, and then went to Procter and Gamble, found myself there for a number of years, also in operations, and then I accepted a position way back. This is before you were born, in 1987, with a company called Nature Sunshine Products, where I was director of international operations. And that was where I first learned about the Ken Brailsford story. I learned all about the story of encapsulating herbs. I learned about the father of encapsulation, and it was very impressive to me. That was 31 years ago, and it was an excellent run company. The company is still very viable to this day. It does very well, and it's based on the foundations that Ken and his team built years ago. Interestingly enough, after 4 years, I found myself joining his sister company, another company that he started called Enrich International. And I was first director of operations, and then I was vice president of global sales and operations for Enrich. And we opened more and more countries. We had Australia, New Zealand, Canada, the United Kingdom. We opened Japan, Korea, Hong Kong, Malaysia, Singapore, the United Kingdom, I think I mentioned. And I was reporting at that time directly to Ken. And I really enjoyed my experience with him. He is a man of integrity. He runs a good ship. He hires good people, and he trusts them to do their job well. And I talk about management because first, and we're talking about three things today. I talk about management because it's so important. As I've learned over and over, you can have the greatest products, you can have the greatest compensation plan, you can have, all the fire and desire you have in your belly, but if you don't have a strong management team that's running your organization, that's gone through the refiner's fire, that has the experience, you're eventually going to run into problems. And this is why I so much enjoy working with Ken and his team. I want to talk a little bit about his team, Ryan Palmer. I met Ryan about a year and a half ago when our company was acquired by ZJ International. And I learned a lot about this great individual. First of all, I learned that he was related to Ken. And I thought that's interesting, but he's related to him in an interesting way. Ken is Ryan Palmer's wife's father, so it's his father-in-law. And I thought, wow, talk about a little pressure there. Talk about running and leaving a legacy. You've got to report the financials to not only, Ken, but also your father-in-law. So I was so impressed with Ryan and his ability to relate not only extremely well with distributors, but also to understand numbers and grasp the whole ability of management. And it shouldn't come as a surprise to me because he's been mentored by one of the finest in the industries in his father-in-law, Ken Brailsford. It also made me realize that this really can be a legacy company. Ken is not a young man. He's not old. He's not young. He's in his early 70s. And that's considered still young. Ken's very vibrant, still very active CEO. And what I love about Ken is that he has a desire to be hands-on, to actually get into the office, see the numbers. Actually, we actually are starting to see him on promotional videos, where he's actually talking about the different promotions that are involved with the different products. And I love that about Ken. He's still very much alive as far as actively in the business. And I thought this is quite interesting because not only do you have an individual who, is in his early 70s, the greatest asset that he has, of course, is all this knowledge and experience that he brings. But he has this desire to continue to want to run and develop a profitable organization. And
well then, hello again for number 4. I don't know what's happening here. Definitely has never happened before. And then I couldn't get on again. So let's see here. Give me just a minute, guys. There we go. There's Dwayne. So sorry, everybody. Sorry for the inconvenience there. I don't know what's happening, Dwayne.
I got knocked off somehow, but anyway.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we're back up. We're back running. So, you were speaking about Ryan and
I was, and Josh and Dr. Plant, and realizing what a great team this is. And I'll just quickly, Jerem Dastra, I got to meet Jerem and found out that he had started in customer service as a customer service agent so many years ago and had worked his way out all the way up to vice president of global sales and marketing. That's very impressive to me. It tells me a story that here's an individual that the company trusts and the distributors trust as well. And that's a rare combination sometimes in an organization where you're loved by both sides. And Jerem, as I've gotten to know him, I've really gotten to appreciate the amount of effort that he puts in. And Andrew Armstrong is another individual who's over our distributor support group. And it doesn't matter what time of the reasonable hour, even up to 10, 11 o'clock at night, I will send him a question about the compensation plan or something that I might be on a live call with Malaysia or with Australia or someplace where it's uncomfortable in our time zone, and Andrew will immediately respond with an answer back to my question. And I thought, who does that? I'll tell you who does that. A person who's very committed to the organization, and that's what I found in Andrew. And I could go on and on. I knew Redis uh, Farka before when he was with our team and in our management team, and I had a great deal of respect for him. And to have him come into Zgen and to do so well working with Jerem and take on such a large responsibility right from the get-go doesn't surprise me at all. And so I bring this up, and I want to go through just quickly the management background because it's so important to know that you've got a team that is so dedicated to the success of the organization, and they're looking at it long term. They want this to be a legacy company that will sustain them and their families, and long after Ken has gone and retired. And so this is important to me because it if you have a dedicated team that is working this diligently to advance your organization forward, you're going to have a very high probability of success. And I've always believed that quality attracts quality. It has to come from the very top. And that's what we have here. We have a high quality management team that's attracted a very high quality group of distributor leaders throughout the organization, throughout the global world, if you will. We're starting to see more and more global leaders coming involved with Zija. And here's a company that has not had rocket science growth. And I tend to steer away from companies like that because almost as fast as you grow is my experience over 31 years is as fast as you fall. In fact, when I was in operations for two Fortune 100 companies that I talked about, Procter and Gamble and also W.R. Grace, I will tell you that I could lose or forfeit my annual bonus if the company grew too fast or too slow. There was a box. And you would think, well, how could you get penalized by growing too fast? Well, because by growing too fast, you can put major stress onto the entire organization. And this is what some companies forget is they think it's great to grow, straight up. What they don't realize is that if they do have a downturn or if things happen or if they have to shift resources, it's very, very difficult to downsize fast enough. And so here's a company that has managed sustainable, manageable growth year over year over year, going into its 13th year now, with sustained, manageable growth and revenue, particularly revenue, because growth can be up and down, but revenue means that you can control the three key ingredients of a company's financial success in a way that keeps it profitable and healthy, no matter where the growth is as far as if it's within a box parameter. And that's what I love about what has happened here at Zija. It has grown very steadily in revenue growth year over year, and it's positioned just excellent. And so I give hats off, kudos, hands on, handshakes, pats on the back to the management team that has managed this sustainable growth in revenue. And of course, you can't sell from an empty wagon. You have to have something that is going to fuel the growth. And so no matter how strong your management team is, you have to have a strong product offering as well. And so again, if I go back 31 years and look at, because I was in operations, I knew the manufacturing, I knew Ken's commitment to quality manufacturing. Ken wants to control it because he wants to control the quality behind it. And that just makes sense. And so a large majority of the products that Zija offers is actually manufactured and controlled by Zija itself, a company called Pharmatech. And it's another Ken Brailsford company. He actually can control the manufacture of the product. He can source it. And of course, working with someone like Dr. Plant, who is pretty adamant at understanding exactly what's going into that product offering. Again, first in class Harvard Medical School, you're pretty dang bright. I tease him sometimes that he actually knows what I'm going to say before I actually say it, because he has a response for me as I'm formulating my question. And I'm thinking, that's a pretty smart guy that can do that. And so, it's almost intimidating. But the reality is that you've got that talent there that knows how to do research. And recently, I had an opportunity to travel in the Philippines, and I've had an opportunity to attend also the Zija Master events where I really got to know Dr. Scott Johnson and how impressed I was with Dr. Johnson. He is absolutely a genius when it comes to understanding product and the chemistry that goes on behind the products. And I knew some of the other medical professionals. I knew Dr. Von Johnson, a family doctor. He's delivered I don't know how many babies here in the Utah area, and I knew that he was part of our team, and I knew that as he came into the Zija medical advisory team, I knew that he would also just be an incredibly good strength to the team there. And so we've already seen, I know if you've been on some of these live broadcasts, you've seen Shelley McGuire and her talent with her dear partner Frankie and all the things that they do and how dedicated they are to excellence and bringing product forward to excellence. And so I come back to this strong medical advisory team because as a result of that, you're going to get very strong product offerings. And I think personally, from what I have seen in my industry experience, Zija has two of the most phenomenal natural product offerings in the world. They've learned how to source and harvest and manufacture Moringa oleifera that is fantastic. They have it in a number of products. They have it in several of the key product offerings, some of the key product packages, and it's a fantastic product. If I'm in a meeting and I ask Google, if I talk too loud, my Google will actually kick on here. But if I ask Google or Siri, if I just say, what's the most nutritional plant in the world, it'll always come up Moringa oleifera as having the most vitamins, minerals contained in any natural plant and or tree. And what's fascinating to me is the fact that the majority of the world still is just learning about this, and that's the way it usually runs. 30 years ago when I joined the industry, it was very rare to find natural herbs and supplements. See, Ken Brailsford had the vision. He was way ahead of where we would eventually end up. And that's what happens with visionaries. They usually create great things and make a great difference in the world because they are visionaries. They see the future in a way the rest of us don't. You'd have to go to a natural health food store, which is, it was just different to do. Now you can't walk into any Walmart, Kmart, CVS pharmacy, Walgreens, anywhere without finding a natural health supplement section. It's just widely understood and well known. In fact, in our local hospital chain here along the Utah Wasatch Front where I live, they actually have a book for all their medical doctors that talk about, it's a guide so that doctors can understand if someone's has come in to see them and they're on a natural supplement, if that's recommended or not recommended. And it's really fascinating to read through the book and see which ones that they even recommend in the medical hospital community along the Wasatch Front, Intermountain Healthcare. And it's interesting that the product that we had in our previous company that's now part of Zija is the mangosteen product. And so you have the moringa and you have the mangosteen. And the mangosteen is rated very high in this medical book that's recommended to doctors. They recommend the mangosteen. And of course, the science supports it. So science supports the moringa and the science supports the mangosteen. And there's other products as well that the company has introduced, but we could spend hours talking about them. And I would just invite listeners. Most of you are going to be Zija distributors. A few of you might be guests that are watching this, but I'd highly recommend that you get plugged into these health seminars or webinars or uh, Facebook Live broadcasts that they have on a regular weekly basis. And of course, ZJ has taken it a step further, and they've taken it to ZJ Mastery, which I've had an opportunity to attend the first one in Las Vegas. I was blown away. Again, I've been in the industry 31 years, and to listen to Jerem Dastrup and Dr. Scott Johnson go through the product offering was spectacular. It just led more credibility to the fact that we really do have the products that can change and bless people's lives in a number of ways, not just in certain categories, but virtually a natural health revolution where people, and everybody knows somebody that, because we go through this physical life with these physical tabernacles, we all know somebody that needs or wants or desires a better physical body, something that makes us feel better, live better, look better. And we have that. We have that here at ZJ. And the third component I just want to talk about very briefly is the fact that you can have this great management team, you can have these great products, but you also have to have an incentive for people who want and have a desire to say, yes, I want to devote my life to serving and helping other people, but can I actually sustain my family in that? Is there an opportunity here where if I do that, I can be rewarded for my efforts? And I'm here to testify to you that ZJ does have a very strong compensation plan that rewards those who are willing to reach out to other people and to share the products with them. And we could be doing a lot of things with our lives. We could be, selling this or that, or this kind of widget, or we could be, whatever. But those who are attracted to this are those who are the most successful are those who really want to make a difference in helping other people. Usually you start with those whom you know and love the most, your family, your friends, and you simply become more sensitive to their physical needs. And then you simply ask them if they would be open to trying a product that might be able to benefit them. If people are at a point where they've tried things and it hasn't worked for them, or they haven't maybe tried anything yet, but they want to know if there's something that can help them, the answer will usually be yes. See, the success with our products and our compensation starts with the invite. The invite is the success. They may say no, it doesn't matter. You're still successful because the success was the invite. Because you will find that in any business, it's just the numbers. It's just the amount of people that you are willing to talk to that might benefit from your products. And so as you develop that confidence, and usually you do it by working as a team. I really believe in mentoring, and that's why, Laura, I give you so much credit for spending time, and even with technical difficulties, still coming back and back. You're the kind of person that's not going to leave this alone until you get this down and get this, posted, because that's the kind of person you are. You're very persistent. That's what it takes in order to be relatively successful in the industry. Now, success is a definition. What is success? So some people, when it comes to the financial aspect, are looking to maybe earn enough income to maybe supplement the family budget. They're looking to help with with a unique need, maybe a school, maybe vacation, maybe to help drive a better vehicle, maybe to have upgrade to a nicer home. Others are looking at maybe changing careers, firing their boss, doing something different than what they were doing before. We have people in our business who are professionals in other careers that were quite substantial. Very successful oral surgeon and dentist, and very successful plastic surgeon, very successful businessmen. Why would they want to, come and be a part of the natural health revolution? Well, because they see where the future is. They see where people are going with natural health. They see the baby boomers and the aging population. They also see the young millennials who don't necessarily want to be trapped in a cubicle all their life. And they feel, I was in corporate so many years, but I always had a cubicle, I always had that glass office. and you still had to go and report there. And now we run a multi-million-dollar organization from a very small, humble office with just one employee, who's my wife, and she doesn't have an option. She's she's uh, she's in this. So the reality is that they come because they wanted to change. They wanted to do something different with their life. They wanted to either fire their boss or have a career change, or they wanted the time flexibility to just not be in that cubicle. Can Zija give you that? Absolutely. It has for hundreds and hundreds of people. It's given them that opportunity. And the benefit of this type of business is that you learn how to leverage yourself and leverage your time. And leveraging is where it's all about. See, one of the first billionaires in the United States, his name was J. Paul Getty. You can research him on Google. And he made a very famous statement that's very true. He said, I'd rather earn 1% off the efforts of 100 men than 100% off the efforts of myself. And and women is the same. I'd rather earn the efforts off 1% off 100 women than 100% off the efforts of one. Think about that in terms of time. Say you're going to dig a hole. Would you rather have the efforts of 100 people digging that hole, or would you rather do it all yourself? To put it in perspective, would you rather have 1% of the hour, 1 hour of 100 people, or would you rather have 100 hours of one person? You begin to see the value of leverage, because that becomes your day stretcher. See, that becomes the ability to go beyond yourself. Because if you're trading your time for money, you will never have enough money because you're very limited on your time. And you say, well, I may be comfortable where I'm at financially, but I just wish I had more time freedom to spend it with my family. Or I wish I had more time freedom to maybe travel, because that's really what I love to do, is travel and explore and meet new cultures and see new people. And I want to see where my ancestors came from in Scotland, or I want to see where my relatives are in Australia. And I just don't have the time to do that. 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 weeks vacation is just not enough time for me. Well, through the power of leveraging and building a leveraged organization, you can actually create that for yourself. And that's the opportunity that this gives. Now, I will just share with you, and I don't know how much time you want me to take, Laura Lee. I know we're interrupted here a little bit, but I'll just maybe share a few things about leveraging that I think is so important. Because when, people say to me, well, Dwayne, you have business literally all over the world. This morning I was on with my team in Ukraine through a conference call. And just a couple of weeks ago, I was with my team in the Philippines. And, it all starts right where you are. Somebody asked Jim Rohn, the great Jim Rohn, who was one of the legends in our industry, a very, very popular, wise speaker in our industry. They said, where do you start? And he says, well, you pick up a rock and throw it, and where it lands is basically about where you start. What he was indicating was you start right where you're at. See, when we built our organization in Japan, we started 8 miles away at the university, and we just had some material translated into Japanese. And then I asked the translator, a graduate student from Japan, if she'd like to join my organization, and she said, no. She said, I don't want to do that. So you follow up, you always ask a second question. I said, well, do you know anyone who might? And she said, yes, my friend might. So I contacted her friend, and her friend said, no, I can't. It's a conflict of interest. I manage the Japanese order entry team for another company, and they would fire me if I joined you. And I followed up, and I said, do you know anybody who might? She said, yes, my friend might. And so I contacted her friend, and her friend said yes. And so we built an organization, and pretty soon we had an organization going in Japan. With the Philippines, it was simply doing a little homework and finding out that the San Jose, California newspaper had a little Philippine section for classifieds. So I ran a little classified ad there. Anybody, that could speak local dialect would be interested in a business opportunity in the Philippines, a multinational company expanding to Philippines. Pretty soon I started to get some calls, I asked for a CV or resume be faxed or emailed to an address, and Pretty soon those started coming in, and pretty soon we started signing people up, and pretty soon we had a business going in the Philippines. It all starts where you're at. It all starts within wherever you can pick up a rock and throw it. Now, those are the extremes. The extremes are multicultural because when I go to bed tonight, my Ukraine team will be waking up and be working, and my Philippine team will be waking up and be working. And so that's really leveraging your time because now you can actually earn commissions from your organization while you are sleeping, basically. And I don't know of any better way of earning income than when you're sleeping. So, yes, it's work. Yes, you have to maintain quality of contact with your organization. But let me tell you, it's a whole lot easier today than it was 31 years ago. We have a seamless global compensation plan that does all the exchange for you automatically. We have beautiful things when it works, like technology. You have of course, your FaceTime. I don't use FaceTime too much, but what I usually use is um, might sound old school now because not many people use it anymore, but I use Skype, I use Zoom, I use, and if we're not doing a video feed, which a lot of times we just do conference call, I probably have 10 message apps on my phone with WhatsApp, which I think is the most reliable. It's a Facebook company, I think. WhatsApp, you have Line, you have, of course, so many ways of communicating effectively with your organization if you're just willing to reach out and start building a global team. So many of the leaders that we've cultivated in our organization have global teams. I look at some of the large income earners.
Oh my goodness, this has not happened to me in a very long time where my video has done this. This is nuts. So let's just see here. I want to allow Mr. Dwayne Dyer to be able to finish up what he was saying because I think what he was saying was very, very important information. There he is. Hey, Jeremy. Thanks for joining. Oh, I can't add him now. Oh, add. We are going to get through this and get you guys the information you're coming to see. What I'll do is I will link each of these lives. I'll post it in the very main one. Oh my goodness. Thank you for your patience with this, Dwayne. I don't know what's happening. I've never experienced it to this level before.
I don't know, maybe you timed out or something, but anyway, I don't use Facebook Live very often because it seems like if I ever have a hiccup, it's going to be with Facebook Live. But anyway, I won't keep the listeners too much longer. I just wanted to kind of wrap this up and I just wanted to recap those top three things because it's so significant when you're searching, you're looking on an opportunity. It's so important to understand the team that's running the organization, how strong they are, and the fact they've been through it before, they've built large organizations, they're still around today. This is going back 30 plus years. That's a substantial statement. They're going to be here another 30 years. They have a very good track record to indicate that. No one has a crystal ball. No one knows what the future holds, but I will tell you that a good indicator is the hindsight on what they've done in the past. And so I would always look at what they've done in the past and look at their track record before making a decision of if I wanted to join them or not. Because looking at the past of Ken and Ryan, the organization they built is absolutely amazing. So products are excellent, first class. Never have to be embarrassed about your products. And this is a product-driven company. There's going to be more products introduced. We see that on a regular basis. They can't leave product technology alone. They're advancing with it. There's going to be more exciting products. They have 2 regionals planned this coming March. I'm sure there's going to be new announcements, new products launched between now and then, and also more at the regionals. Very exciting. Excellent compensation plan that's just been made stronger. They've gone now to rolling qualifications which are outstanding. Gives you an opportunity to leverage what you've done over the past 3 weeks and then the current week that you're in. So you have 4 solid weeks to rank advance and to establish your team. They have special promotions, fun promotions on a regular basis. They have all the bells and whistles of lifestyle bonuses that you can use for a car, a boat, a motorcycle, a second home, cabin, a lake home, whatever you want, a houseboat, whatever you want to leverage that in. They have global bonus pools for leadership bonuses. And so they have the compensation plan in place. And even what's more important to me is the fact that I have known Ken. It's a very strong statement. I want you to listen to this particularly. I've known Ken and his companies and his reputation for 31 years now, and not once in 31 years have I ever known Ken ever to have been late or have missed a commission payment. I don't think there's another CEO, active CEO in the industry right now that can make that statement. Not one late or missed commission payment in 31 years. And that's very substantial. So we have it. We have the ingredients here. What is it going to take to move it forward for you? Mentoring success. Being on calls like this, listening to leaders, people who've been through the industry, who've gone through that refiner's fire, gone through the ups and downs, people who are willing to spend time with you to help you. When someone comes to me and they say, Dwayne, what do you expect a new person to do? I say absolutely nothing, because that's what they were doing before. I expect them, the only thing I expect them to do is now want to be mentored. Bring someone to me. Just be a bringer. Just bring them to me or someone that they're comfortable with between me and them in the organization that has the experience with the products, the compensation plan, the management team. Because after you're around a person and mentored for a period of time, you're going to say, I get it. It clicks. I can say what Dwayne's saying. I can understand my products. I can get to know the compensation plan. I can get to know the management team, the leadership that's running the company. And so now I get that. And so now they're mentored to a point and where they can start introducing it to others and being a mentor to someone else. That's what this is, a coaching, mentoring business. My sponsor is Chris Estes. I'm on the call. I try and be on the call every Monday with him. And when I'm with Chris, I take notes, I listen, because I like to be mentored by him. Even though I have substantial background, success in the industry, I'm still learning. I'm still a student, and I still want to learn. His upline is David Moses. I love listening to David. I love learning from David. And I'm teachable and coachable, and I listen to David and the things that David teaches when he's on. And these are leaders that are regularly on as a resource. So you can have anyone new mentored in your organization. And Laura Lee, I just want to, again, thank you and congratulate you for being persistent in doing this, because what you're doing is mentoring your team. And not just your team, but anyone who's willing to come on and listen. Because if you just pick up one little bit of information, just one tip that says kind of an aha moment, then you've moved your business forward. And the time you've invested to listen to leaders in the industry will pay dividends for you, because you pick up that one new idea that moves your business forward. And that's what this is all about. So Laura Lee, thank you. I appreciate you, and I appreciate your tenacity to keep it going, even with the struggles we've had here. And I may be partly responsible for that. Maybe I was trying to connect through a different source, and Apple. Now I went when I heard that you were on Android, I immediately turned on my Android phone, and maybe we had better success with that. So maybe that's the question that I need to learn in the future is, are you on an Apple device or an Android device? Because that might make a difference in FaceTime.
Yeah, it does. It makes a huge difference sometimes. Well, thank you so much for your kind words and the amazing information. I've been taking notes. And sorry for the interruptions there, because this is live, real time. My child, my 3-year-old, came down
It
the
is.
stairs and needed my
That's the beauty of a
attention.
home-based business. That's the beauty. You can do it with a 3-year-old at home.
Yeah, exactly. I just want to ask you one quick question before you go. I've been asking pretty well all the leaders this that have jumped on with me. Um, What is one thing that from 30 years ago when you would have started this, if you knew now, um, what would you want to tell everybody about what we do? One thing that you learned over your 30 years that you didn't know back then.
Well, certainly be teachable. Always be a sponge to learn. I probably didn't read as much back then as I do now. Maybe I didn't have the time or whatever, but now I find myself absorbing books. I'll read a book every 2 or 3 days. I'll pick up a book and read it. And it's just you know, the fact that the more that you can um, pour that water in the glass, the more water you're going to have to drink from. And it is true. You just continue to absorb and get ideas you know, and realizing that don't be too hard on yourself. If you sponsor 3 or 4 people and they don't do anything, you kind of get discouraged and you say, maybe this isn't for me. Don't stop there because the industry average is not unlike life average. Only 1 in 20 people are really going to make a difference in in their financial world. And when you realize that if you sponsor 5 or 6 people and they don't do anything, it's not that maybe that you're not doing it right. It's that you just haven't found the 1 in 20 that's going to really make a difference in your organization. And the good news is it doesn't take very many people. You sponsor 3 or 4 or 5 good people that really want to make a difference, that want to run with you in the business, and you will make a dramatic change in your life and in their life and in your organization. But it's a matter of finding those 4 or 5 good people. So I tell people don't stop until you find those people because it doesn't take a whole lot. You look at a sponsorship list and you might only have, after 30 years, you might only have 10 good people. But 10 good people can bring in over 2 million customers. And that's what's happened. That happened in our organization. And so it can happen that way. It's just being willing to be a bringer, bring people to meetings like this or to your upline leaders. They're willing to spend a little time with you and just be tenacious about it. Have your goals, know what you want and why you want them. A person should be able to be able to answer in 2 or 3 minutes, Laura Lee, why do you really want to do this business? And you should know right away it's because of, and then you would just say it. And that's what you want to remind yourself. You're in this because you want to make a difference with your family's health, your family's wealth, your family's lifestyle, whatever those reasons are, you want it badly enough where you're willing to pay the price to get it. And the paying the price is being a bringer, bringing people to an event like this, or to a meeting, or to a Zija Mastery, or to a summit event, or to the corporate offices, or to whatever event it is. You're just willing to do that. That's how I would answer that.
That's awesome. Thank you. I love that answer, and I completely agree. So thank you for that. Thank you for your time and your ability to roll with this. It's definitely taken longer than typical. And what I will do is I will take each of the videos and I'll post them in the main one in the comments. So when it runs out, you can, if anyone's watching the replay, you can just scroll down the feed and go hit the next video. So, and I'll see if I can't do something to put it all together and throw it on YouTube as well. So
We'll just have to do it again sometime. Now that we've finally figured it out, we'll just go Android to Android and have it done.
there, we'll do that too. I would love to do another live with you. And again, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate your time today. So thank you.
Thank you, Laura Lee. It's great to be
You,
with you.
you
Thanks,
too.
everybody.
Have a wonderful day.
You too. Bye.
Bye. All right. Well, thank you everybody who has stayed on. And in the very first couple videos, I made mention that I was going to bring some I have some really big things happening and going on, and I am really, really focused on utilizing social media to grow myself and my businesses. And so as I mentioned in one of the first videos, I have teamed up with a man and his wife and their company. So Braven's been on here all of the videos, and and so me and him are going to be doing a live about his company, which is Stragimax, and so that's going to be coming out in the very near future. We are just kind of setting up an event. And anyone who is a network marketer or has a business that they are trying to utilize social media with, please follow us. Follow this transformation that's going to be happening. Go over to my Instagram. Please go watch my Instagram. Follow it. It's inspire.by.laura. I will put it in the comments as well on one of the videos. And we have some things that we're going to share with you guys, some tips, some tricks, some valuable, really valuable information. I've been doing this for a year and growing my social media for a year, but I have learned so much in the last few weeks with Braven and Stragimax and with branding and all kind of stuff. So again, some really amazing tips coming your way, some offers coming your way that you're not going to want to miss out on, and some big information and news. And if you want to watch the results, then like I said, head over to Instagram and follow me and watch the results, because the results have already been huge. So I look forward to seeing you guys. I look forward to what I get to share with you in the future, and the event that Braven and I are going to be putting on. And again, huge, huge, huge thank you to Mr. Dwayne Dyer for joining me today and going through all of the technical difficulties that we had to get this video to go. And I feel very grateful that you joined me. So thank you very much, and I hope you all have a wonderful day, and please watch for more of my videos. Drop a replay if you're watching the replay, and hit that follow button if you would like to see more of my videos. Have a wonderful day, guys. Thanks.